What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about both New York baseball teams because they have not been playing well. The Yankees salvaged the final game of their three-game set versus the Reds, and the Mets have won the last two to split their series with the Braves. But for the most part, both teams have been in a pretty bad funk. I'll get into all of it on the other side of the intro. Hit it.
DiVincenzo a three. Bang!
The wall, he jumps, it's gone! He did it! He did it! Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career!
All right, getting into the episode, and I'm going to start with my Metropolitans of Flushing, Queens. Now, let's just start with the rotation, and it's a rotation that has been ravaged by injuries. The most recent one is Griffin Canning. I feel like he's going to be down for the season. It looked like it was clearly an Achilles. You could see that calf muscle pop, and it sucks. Injuries suck, and the Mets rotation has just been ran through by injuries. Kodai Senga's out with the hamstring strain. Sean Manaea got shut down again. There was a loose body in his shoulder. Like, what? Why? Where is this stuff coming from? Why does the Mets rotation just have to get killed by injuries? Because Griffin Canning, he was such a great story to start this season. He was fighting for a rotation spot on the Anaheim Angels last year. That's how bad he was. But now he comes to the Mets. David Stearns gives him that free agent contract. He goes down to Jeremy Hefner's pitching lab. And he's just completely revamped. His career is turned around. But he seems like he's going to be done for the season. I mean, it's June 27th. He pitched for about half the season. The Mets hit the midway point. Their 81st game was last night. And that's going to be all for Griffin Canning. That's all she wrote. It sucks, but you got to pick yourself up. You got to keep moving forward. This rotation has about three arms right now. You got Frankie Montas, who impressed in his first start. And let me just say this about Montas. It will be the most David Stearns thing ever if Montas sucks across all his rehab starts, but then just turns it on and is a beast for the Mets in the regular season. And he's a beast for the Mets at the major league level because nobody saw that coming. And I feel like at this point, he sucked on purpose just to build the storyline because there's no way he's going to go from having a 12-plus ERA in the minor leagues to coming up to the majors and just dominating. He gave you 5 electric innings against the Braves on Tuesday, and the Mets wasted it. That's something I'll get to later. The lack of clutch hitting on this team, but sticking with the rotation for now, you got Frankie Montas, you got David Peterson. I think Tyler McGill is down with an injury. This rotation is just non-existent at this point. All right, I'm going to look to the Pittsburgh Pirates series right now to see who the probable pitchers are. All right, tonight, Friday night for the Mets, it's going to be Peterson. Then on Saturday, it's going to be Paul Blackburn. Blackburn has been terrible for the Mets this year. Over 2+ starts, he's got a 6.62 ERA, a 1.75 whip across 17 2/3 innings pitched. Paul Blackburn is not a serviceable MLB pitcher. He was good last year. He came over from the Athletics, I want to say, in a deadline trade, and he was solid for you. But this year, he is not giving you the same level of production, and that's just not okay. Let's look to Sunday's game. That's going to be Frankie Montas. So this series, you got Peterson, Blackburn, and Montas. Those are probably your better guys that you're going to throw out right now. And then after that, the probables aren't out for the next series. But I'm not even sure who's going to take the hill. Let's look. Prior to the Braves series, it was... So, Peterson pitched the first game against the Braves, I think. It was Paul Blackburn pitched the opener against the Braves, so Peterson would have... No, Canning... Peterson pitched Sunday night against the Phillies, and it was Canning on Saturday. And it was... Blade Tidwell on Friday night. So you're going to get a couple spot starts. You're going to get a couple bullpen games. But overall, the Met pitching hasn't been terrible. Even when there are those guys, and Clay Holmes is the other arm. I don't know why I didn't think of him until just now. But there are times throughout the MLB season where any team is going to need the spot start. It's just that the Mets are going to need it so bad. And now it puts some pressure on Kodai Senga, who doesn't like to rush back from injuries, and I doubt he's going to rush back. It's just not in his nature. He's going to make sure his mechanics are solid. He's going to make sure he's feeling 110%. But the Mets do need that ace. They need that stopper. They need that guy that you can count on day in and day out, that he's going to go out there and give you 5 to 7 good innings of baseball where your lineup has to do the rest of the work and can win you baseball games. It has to be dominant from Clay Holmes. Right now, I would say David Peterson is probably the best pitcher in your rotation right now. That's what he's been all season long. David Peterson, the leap that he's taken over really the last 375 days, the last calendar year and then some, he's been so good, a complete revelation for the Mets. After the start of his career, he was not very good. He was very inconsistent. There were times where he looked really good. I remember a game I was at in 2022 when he pitched against the Texas Rangers. He looked like a left-handed DeGrom, and I've said this multiple times, where his windup, his mechanics, he looks like a left-handed DeGrom. He was dominant that night, but then there were other times where he just sucked. The Mets have to keep moving forward, but the way they're going to do that, I think at least, is they need to give some of these younger guys a chance. Noah McLean has been really good in AAA. Blake Tidwell had pitched on the MLB level. He hasn't been that good, but he's been all right in AAA, and the Mets have shown that they want to give him a chance. Jonah Tong, he's in AA right now, but I would love to see Tong get a chance at the major league level. He's got a 1.75 ERA, and he's averaging 5 1/3 innings per start. That's the kind of guy the Mets need. They need a guy who's going to go out there. He's going to throw 5 to 6 innings per outing. It's okay if he has a 3.5 to 4 ERA. That's kind of the guy that we're expecting Tong to be at the major league level right now. And same with Noah McLean. He's at the AAA level. He's got a 2.68 ERA, but he's averaging 7+ innings per start. That would be beautiful. If the Mets can get a guy that's going 7 innings every outing and saving this bullpen that hasn't been great at all in June, that would be perfect. David Stearns has to find a way to get some more pitching on this roster, whether it is signing guys like Richard Lovelady or it's calling up guys from the minor leagues. Brandon Sproat has not been great this year. I don't want to see him come up right now, and I know they're going to be super protective of him, but if that's the guy you want to bring up, I don't care. You need some fresh arms in this rotation. You just need some guys to fill out the rotation. Honestly, I mean, McLean is the guy that I want to see right now. If they had to call up one arm and I got to choose, it would be Noah McLean. It's just the length that he gives you. He's been really good. He's only made 6 starts at the AAA level, but I would trust him right now. Why not? Take a flyer on him. It's like you're playing the lottery. It's not a guarantee that he's going to pitch well, but if not, just send him back down. He has options. He's never been in the bigs. And now let me get to some talk about the lineup. Hey, is Juan Soto still looking miserable? He looks terrible to me right now. Oh, he's having one rough go of it as a Met. No, he's having the best month of baseball a single New York Mets player has ever had. His June has been so good. He's hitting 360 or something like that. He's hitting so many homers. Let me look it up. Juan Soto, June stats. In the month of June, 23 games he's played, 325, 10 homers, 18 RBIs, a 485 on-base percentage, a 1238 OPS, 23 walks, and 22 runs. That is dominance. That is the Juan Soto the Mets signed for 15 years. And if you look back at Juan Soto's career, excluding last year with the Yankees, he is a notorious slow starter. He is a guy who will hit 250 over the first 2 months of the season, but then he'll pick it up. He'll finish with 30 home runs, something like that. He'll finish hitting 280, 290. He will get back to the production level that we are expecting. And I said it. Mets fans had to take a chill pill because Juan Soto is still the dominant player that the Mets expected him to be. He has been so good in the month of June, and it's not like the Mets have played flimsy competition the entire month. Yeah, there was that stretch where they played the Rockies and the Nationals, but they've also played the Dodgers. They've played the Phillies, who are right on the Mets' tail in the National League East. The Braves seem to have the Mets' number, but not Juan Soto's. Soto hit multiple homers against Spencer Schwellenbach. I hate that guy so much. I just hate the sight of that Atlanta A. They make me so mad, and it's because the Mets can't beat them. It's like the Braves are the big brother, even though they're under 500. Even though the Mets beat them in game 161 to be the higher wild card seed. The Mets just don't know how to hang with the Braves in the regular season. I just don't understand how they are so terrible against this one team. It doesn't make any sense to me. But now getting back to some of the comments I have about the lineup. What are you going to do with these young guys? Francisco Alvarez was sent down. He was absolutely brutal this year. I don't care. I was campaigning for Luis Torrens to get more playing time early in the season when Alvarez was first coming back. Mendoza decided to stick with Alvarez as the starting catcher, but Alvarez, it seems like he's been zapped of all his aura, of his mystique, that swagger that he played with. He isn't hitting home runs. He's not getting on base. He's just not the same player he was. And for a guy that we complained about his defense when he was coming up, that was the main concern. He was a pretty good defender the past couple years. He just didn't have the same effect, the same maturity this season. Luis Angel Acuna is the other young guy that got sent down. I don't like this one. Acuna provides you with a spark off the bench, athleticism, speed, and it's really, you chose Jared Young over Luis Angel Acuna. Jared Young. And now I know Young has been sent down in favor of Mark Vientos, who is ready to go. He had, I think it was a hamstring injury. It was either a hamstring or oblique. I don't remember. Let's just look at Jared Young's stats this year, if I'm going to be able to find them. I can't find them. Jared Young. Okay, here we go. Jared Young. His batting average this season, 171. His on-base percentage, 227. His OPS, 642. And his WAR, negative 0.1. And now let's just take a gander at Luis Angel Acuna's stats this season. A 241 batting average, a 293 OBP, a 576 OPS. So it's not great. The OPS is actually worse than Young's, but he's getting on base. Jared Young was not getting on base at all. Acuna, 35 hits. Jared Young, 7. That's relative to games played, so that I don't count that. Let's just look. Those are really all the stats that I wanted to reference. Luis Angel Acuna, and I get it, it's because Jeff McNeil was playing well, but why can't Acuna DH? Jared Young, Mendy has some kind of affair with Jared Young. Mendy wants Jared Young DHing every game. Luis Angel Acuna has proved to be a more viable option. He's such a mature young player. Like I said, he gives you athleticism. He can steal bases. Jared Young doesn't give you any of that. Jared Young is a power hitter that didn't hit for power. Quite frankly, he didn't hit at all. So right now, I'm okay with Francisco Alvarez being sent down, but I'm not okay with Luis Angel Acuna being sent down. And I know Jared Young was optioned to AAA because Mark Vientos was called up, but I don't count that. That's different. The Mets need to figure out the future direction of this team. And I know they're winning right now, so there's no problems. But what young guys are you going to keep, and who do you want to dump at the deadline? Is Brett Baty the guy you want to move off of? Is Ronnie Mauricio the guy you want to move off of? Because Mauricio has been flat out awful. Ronnie Mauricio looks like he's never swung a baseball bat in his life in some of these games. He has just been terrible. He is lost. He is not ready to play at the major league level. And David Stearns has to recognize that because Luis Angel Acuna can play third base too. And Brett Baty is the other third baseman on this roster. Ronnie Mauricio should not be getting any run right now. He is just not ready yet. Send him back to the minor leagues just for the rest, maybe till August, and try him again. But he's not ready to play at the major league level right now. And I'm not willing to move off of Mauricio, relating this back to what I was talking about. I'm not ready to move off of Mauricio, but I am ready to trade Brett Baty because Brady's in a hot stretch. I don't think this is sustainable for Brett Baty, but I could also see the Braves trading for him, or the Phillies trading for him, or the Nationals trading for him, and Brett Baty killing the Mets for 7-8 years, the rest of his career. So the Mets have to decide which young players they want to keep and who they want to trade. Because this is a year where the Mets have a team that I feel can make it to the World Series. They have proved they can beat the Dodgers. I know it was the regular season, but what else do you want me to base it off of? This is a team that has a chance to bring a title back to Flushing for the first time since 1986. The Mets have to add pitching, and the pitching is going to be very expensive. The Mets are going to have to part ways with some prospects, and I know it's not in David Stearns' DNA, but he has to realize that this is a team with World Series aspirations, and this is a team that hasn't been this good in a long, long time. Part ways with the prospect. Don't prospect hug. Get the pitching. You need relievers and starters. Do whatever it takes. Make sure this team is ready to go for the playoffs. I don't care about the future. I want a World Series now. So bringing it all together. Trade the young guys for some pitching this season. The future is bright, even if you do move off of one or two of these prospects, because you got guys like Jet Williams, like Brandon Sproat, like Drew Gilbert. You have a ton of guys on the farm that are going to be ready to go in a couple of years. Trading a couple of prospects now is not going to kill you down the line. All right, let's move on to the New York Yankees. I don't have a ton to say about the Yankees, but what I do want to talk about is the culture that Aaron Boone has instilled in this team. It is a very soft organization, and this goes for everyone. They don't have that guy that is going to smash a cooler when things aren't going right. They don't have a guy who's going to punch a wall, a guy who's going to yell at the team. They need that guy. They need the Paul O'Neill of this team. Paul O'Neill was a great player back in his day, but what set him apart was his emotion, was the energy he brought. Carlos Rodon threw 88 pitches earlier this week. And I get it was hot out. I get they were in Cincinnati, Ohio, so it's going to be hotter than, I don't know, some other places in the MLB. It's been a heat wave here up in the northeast part of the country, but it's hot for everyone. Show some fight, show some competitive nature, and fight to stay in that game. You are trying to get out of a rut. You have to win these games. Your lead in the AL East is dwindling. The Rays are having talks about potentially hosting playoff games from your minor league spring training ballpark. You have to have some fight. You have to stay in the game. Because then there's guys like Jonathan Loaisiga who is sick coming into the game and he blows it. I put some of the blame for that game on Aaron Boone, but it's also on Carlos Rodon, who said he was huffing and puffing after the game. Huffing and puffing. Are we serious? This is New York. You gotta fight to stay in games. You gotta show that you're a competitor. That is just not good enough. And then the other guy I want to talk about is Jazz Chisholm. That ejection he had is okay. I get it. The emotions are high. You guys are struggling. But getting ejected and then making the comments you did in the postgame saying I have to impress my fans. Do you know who your fans are? They're Yankee fans. And Yankee fans don't care if you hit 4 homers in a game. If you guys are losing, they'll still yell about you. So for Jazz, you have to stay in games and you have to control yourself. Your fans are Yankee fans. They want to see winning before anything else. They haven't experienced a ring since 2009. And I know that's not a lot for most teams, but for Yankee fans, that is an absolute eternity. And Jazz, you're one of the guys that's going to be an integral part of a championship team. You're going to be one of the most important players if the Yankees do end up winning a World Series. So you have to control yourself. You can't let the game get the best of you. It's just not okay. Overall, though, both New York teams are in a rut right now. They'll break out of it eventually. The June swoon has hit New York baseball hard. But good news, it's June 27th. There's only a couple more days of June, so we'll be back at it once July hits. All right, that's going to do it for the episode. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, following, liking, downloading the episode, sharing it with a friend. I really appreciate all the support. Also, make sure you leave me a voicemail at 848-305-8073 with your sports questions and takes. I'll react to them in the next episode. And most importantly, make sure you keep it locked with the Sports Pod.